signs of a comeback from Hull City. In form, Hull City at home to Bristol City. Bristol City leading by 3 goals to 1. And Andy Walker, the other obvious question, and people who weren't watching earlier will think simply, what on earth is he talking about? Any further sightings of the squirrel?
Squirrel has been captured, much to the delight of the home support who were desperate to see their team get back involved in this game. I've got to say, I think Bristol City are in complete control of it. They have had so many chances today. They've scored 3. They could have scored 6 or 7. I think that's the big worry for Sergei Yakirovich, the Hull manager. He's not happy with what he's seen, the amount of chances that his team are giving away. And as we go into the last, well, I think we'll have a lot of injury time for Squirrelgate. But Bristol City, very much in control.
Yeah, play was actually held up for some minutes because of a squirrel on the pitch. Forest Green Rovers have one back against second place York City in the National League. It's Carl McAllister with his 9th league goal of the season in the Scottish Cup 5th round, one of the games that has gone ahead with so many postponed. Elgin City back on level terms against Partick Thistle of the Championship. Ryan Sargent with the equaliser in that game. It will go straight to extra time and penalties if they can't sort it out in the 90 minutes. Right, is it going to be a case of cruising for Arsenal for the last few minutes, or Sunderland, even though they're 2-0 down, Merce, asking questions?
No, cruising. If anybody's going to score, it'll be Arsenal again. Gyökeres, good run down the left-hand side, good defending. But yeah, if anybody's going to score in the next 15 minutes or so, 20 minutes or so, it'll be Arsenal. Very comfortable, 2-0.
Absolutely brilliant day for Wycombe Wanderers at Adams Park. They lead Doncaster Rovers by 4 goals to 0. Jamie Mullins with a goal on 72 minutes. It's been quiet from Rob Jones in terms of going to in the second half. Does that kind of sum up the second 45 minutes, Rob? Lacking a bit of incidents?
Yeah, it does, Si, actually. And Everton have been a lot more competitive this second half, a lot more intensity in their play, pressing hard at the pitch. And that is timing, because Everton have just equalised. And it's Kieran Dewsbury Hall who's turned it into the bottom left-hand corner. Everton attacked down the left-hand side, low ball into the area. And there was Dewsbury Hall to steer it in for 1-1. Fulham could have been out of sight in this game. They had one opportunity before that through Jimenez, but instead David Moyes watching from on high. He's still got that very typical scowl on his face, but deep down he will be very pleased that Everton, who have been second best for large chunks of this game, are back level through Kieran Dewsbury Hall. 1-1.
All about the timing. This is his 5th Premier League goal of the season, as well as AFC Wimbledon go 3-2 up against Reading. Marcus Brown with the goal there just after Reading had got things back level again, in confirmation of that equaliser. Have Wolves just had a half chance to get it to 3-2, Boydie?
Yes, it's Mosquera. It was a ball in from Gomez on the right-hand side. Chelsea didn't pick Mosquera up, and he got a free header, but it went over the bar, failed to trouble Sanchez. If he'd have got it down the way because of the skiddy surface, it might have caused problems, but over the bar. And still 3-1 Chelsea.
Meanwhile, time beginning to run out for Burnley. They still trail West Ham United by 2 goals to 0. Are they making use of the time they've got through the start of the second half so well? Has that continued?
They've changed their front line. So 3 players have come off, 3 have come on, just to try and do a little bit more against that West Ham back line. And they had a decent chance with Humphreys, where they work the ball out to the left-hand side. They play the ball to Humphreys. He catches it well, but he cuts across the ball. It looks like it's always going wide. The goalkeeper's getting across, scrambling, but it was always going to go wide. That's probably their best chance in the last few moments. They just need a little bit more in that final third. Still 2-0 to West Ham.
Approaching the final 10 minutes in our 3 o'clock kickoffs. We'll be back in just over 2 minutes' time here on this Gillette Soccer Saturday.
Looking at Arsenal, it's looking more and more like Arsenal winning this, going to win this league, man. That's what it's looking more and more like. Arsenal 2-0 up. Sunderland, Barcelona winning 1-0. My boy Rashi is cooking. Let him cook, bro. Let Rashi cook. Might end up winning the treble. Let Barca cook, man. Rashford is having a really good game there as well. Rashi is having a really good game. Watching this game now.
Sponsored by Gillette Lamps. Never write Hull City off this season, that is for sure. They were 3-1 down at home to Bristol City. Andy Walker, they're going to make it a very nervy final 10 minutes or so for the visitors.
Yes, the former Rangers man, Kieran Doyle, who scored. He's got himself into the box on the end of a cross. I've got to say, it's a terrible mistake from the goalkeeper, Radak Vitek. He should have had it, and he's flapped at it, and it's just bounced in that area, and he's caught it on the volley, Kieran Doyle. They've got a chance here, Hull. 3-2.
By the way, Tranmere Rovers got one back away to Gillingham as Charlie Whittaker with the goal there. Huddersfield have got one back against Blackpool. Marcus Arnott with the goal, and Partick Thistle now lead Elgin City in the Scottish Cup by 3 goals to 2. And there has been a breakthrough in the other game in the Scottish Cup 5th round. Dunfermline leading Celtic Hearts by a goal to 0. Chris Kane with the goal there. Well, Coventry City today will be kicking themselves if they don't pick up 3 points. They've had the possession, they've had the shots, and now Mark McAdam, they're up against 10 men.
Yes, Oxford United now down to 10 men. Will Lancashire came onto the pitch 57 minutes in. 2 minutes later, he got his first yellow card, and he's just got his second yellow card on the 77th minute. And I've got to be honest, I've looked at the replays. I don't think he's got any case. I think the referee's got it absolutely spot on. The ball goes over the top, and he's got his eyes fixated on the defender, and he just barges into him. He's not playing the ball. His eyes are consistently looking at the man at the back for Coventry City. So, yeah, Matt Bluefield really frustrated. But like you say, Simon, the home team dominating. 70% of the ball, 15 shots, 5 on target. They cannot test the goalkeeper. They cannot find the back of the net. But they're now up against 10 men. 0-0.
This has been a terrific save with the vitality. But who is it for? Bournemouth or Aston Villa?
It was Aston Villa. It was Martinez, top save to his right. Left hand comes over. Ryan Christie came on for Krupe down the left hand side. Adley pulls it back, takes a touch. Left foot goes to put it in the far corner, opens his body up, and full length save from Martinez yet again. Villa have made 3 substitutions as well. Buendia off, Sancho off, and Douglas Weed for Barkley, Maatsen and Bailey. So Maatsen's come on. You normally see him for Luca Digne. He hasn't. He's on a slotted just in front of him. So very defensive. Bournemouth dominating this half, and they've dominated the majority of this game, to be honest. 1-1.
Full-play Stockport County in League 1 down to 10 men. Josh Davis-Cogley has been sent off for a second bookable offence. By the way, the game in League 2 between Newport County sits second from Bodden and Grimsby Town are unbeaten the last 7. Both sides have missed penalties in the second half, so it remains goalless in that one. It's looking like it could be a very good day for West Ham United and an even more worrying weekend for Nottingham Forest, Sue.
Yeah, absolutely. We've had a little bit of a delay. Wan-Bissaka's been down for quite a while. He's okay now, thankfully. He's got up, but the ball just come across, and Humphreys goes to clear the ball. Wan-Bissaka puts his head down. He just gets kicked right in the face, and like Humphreys had just eyes on the ball, absolutely, no intent whatsoever. But it must have been so on for Wan-Bissaka. But thankfully, he's up, all okay, and still 2-0 to West Ham.
That's 2-2. I'm going to start that again. It's been a long week. Still 2-0 to West Ham in that one. Still 3-1 to Chelsea away to Wolves. Is it looking like staying that way, Boydie?
Yeah, it is, but Liam Rosenior's, he said, I work with the 4th official, and rightly so. Chelsea have got a counter-attack. Angel Gomez goes down. It wasn't a head knock. It's cramped. He's coming off because of that. Chelsea were in, but the referee's blown the whistle and went back to allow the Wolves physios to come on and give him treatment. I have no idea why he stopped it. As I said, it wasn't a head knock. And Liam Rosenior's quite rightly asking questions of the officials, but they still lead 3-1.
Well, we wondered if Coventry City could take advantage against second from Oxford United, with Oxford United a goal down. But before we go there, we need to go straight back to the game at Craven Cottage. Has there been a turnaround, Rob Jones?
Quite incredible. Everton looked absolutely out of this at half-time, but instead they're 2-1 in front.
Oh my God.
Dewsbury Hall, who scored the equaliser, has had a big hand in Everton's second goal of the afternoon.
Come on, Everton. Come on.
It comes into the 6-yard box, and Jake O'Brien is putting all sorts of pressure on Bernd Leno in the Fulham goal. I'm not entirely sure who gets the final touch. I'm just going to have a look at the replay. But O'Brien is right on him. Leno is claiming he's been fouled. Yeah, I think it's going to go down as a Jake O'Brien goal. He gets a little touch on past Leno into the net. And Everton's excellent away record. It's seen wins at Old Trafford and Villa Park already this season. And now they lead 2-1 at Craven Cottage.
That is his first goal of the season as well. As a moment I thought Sue was going to have a little David Moyes style run around the studio, but he held himself in the seat. Just a couple of little
David Moyes
up in the air.
doing the business, bro.
Inverness, the leaders in Scottish League One, now 3-0 up. Alfie Babbage has his 9th goal of the season. Right, let's go back to Mark McAdam. Oxford United, the second from bottom side, down to 10 men, but still holding the league leaders. How close did Coventry come to finally getting the breakthrough, Mark?
Just inches away, Simon. They were so close, and it was all thanks to some brilliant play from the midfield maestro, Tatsuhiro Sakamoto. Picks up the ball, he just gets it onto his left-hand side, and he plays a really nice defence-splitting ball through the back line. The 5 men at the back for Oxford. Haji Wright gets on the end of it. He does everything right. Really clean left-footed shot. The net ripples, but it's the side netting. Still 0-0.
We go back. Right, let's see what's happening in the game between Fulham and Everton, because you've seen there that Everton have turned around, gone into the lead, but that goal that on the video print has at least been given as a Bernd Leno own goal is getting a VAR check. Rob, fill us in.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really tell you too much, because obviously we don't see the VAR pictures, but the goal has been given, so the whistle has just been blown by Stuart Atwell, so that goal was checked and allowed by the VAR this afternoon. But it was one of those, he was right in front of the goalkeeper, Bernd Leno, but it's been given. So 2-1 Everton. It was always going to be checked because Bernd Leno was complaining. There was contact between him and Jake O'Brien, but to me it looked okay. He was just using his body, the big man, to turn in that ball from Kieran Dewsbury Hall. Everton have just sent off Jared Banthwaite for Vitaly Mikalenko to see this one out, and they lead by 2-1.
Yeah, one loss in the last 8 away from home as well. They won 4 of those. Looks like it could be another good day on the road for David Moyes' side. Right, let's go back to St Andrews. Birmingham City leading troubled Leicester City by 2-1. Sam, any chance of a lifeline for the visitors?
Oh, it looks like not really, to be honest. Birmingham have been in full control since they've gone. We already know about their home record. We already know that we've only lost 1 of the last 39 home games. So it looks like it's an uphill battle for Leicester. Andy King have made quite a few changes. He's brought on a lot of experience, but going forward, they just don't look like they have the cutting edge. There's a few minutes left to play. It's still currently 2-1 here.
Meanwhile, is Alfie Devine's goal going to be enough for Preston North End to beat Portsmouth this afternoon? Here's Neil Mellor.
Oh, I don't know, because it's all Portsmouth. It feels like Preston are very much hanging on. They haven't even looked like scoring a second goal. One big chance to say they fall to Portsmouth this second half. They recycle a ball from a corner, and Ali on loan from Luton. He's in the 6-yard box. He's got a tap in, but he manages to get his finish all wrong. But it is all Portsmouth in the closing stages. Still 1-0 Preston.
Adeyoru, forgive me if I don't pronounce the first name, has just put Peterborough United by 5 goals to 1 up now against Wigan Athletic, and confirmation of that second goal of the afternoon that's come in the game between Wrexham and Millwall. Let's get details from Carl Walker on what has been a brilliant day for Alex Neil's side.
It has indeed. They double their lead, and I've got to say, Simon, since they scored that first, they've been in control. Yes, Wrexham have been trying to find an equaliser, but Millwall, they've been extremely great in attack today. Josh Coleman with the goal. He receives the ball in the 18-yard box and puts his laces through this one. He fires a ferocious shot past Arthur Okonkwo, runs straight to the travelling fans. They are absolutely loving this one. So is Alex O'Neill. They're 2-0. And they further cement those playoff positions.
Arsenal still lead Sunderland by 2 goals. Did they come close from scoring direct from a corner just then?
The corner gets whipped in, it gets cleared in the end. Yeah, the corners are great, it goes straight across the goal. But yeah, they've been so comfortable since they've gone 2-0 up. You could have called this game off and saved electricity with the lights. 2-0.
Scottish League 2, 4-5 now, double the lead against troubled Dumbarton. Dumbarton down in 9th ahead of this one, and winners in the last 7 away from home, and that theme is going to continue today. Right, let's go to the game that Aaron Paul is watching between West Brom and Stoke City. I don't think this one has been a classic. Any sign of a semi-classic finish, Aaron?
I'll keep this simple. It's been absolutely dreadful. The West Brom fans singing "The Lord is my shepherd" a few moments ago will need divine intervention if any of these two sides are to find the back of the net. 0-0.
Honest, but to the point. Love it. Right, let's go back into the Premier League and see how things are going to finish off in the game between Bournemouth and Aston Villa. Are we going to get a winner, course? Is it looking likely?
I'm not so sure now. I mean, it's been one-way traffic. Aston Villa have come into the game. It was a mistake from James Hill. Ball goes up, he shins it back towards goal. Ollie Watkins is alert, and Matson gets on the overlap, plays it in. James Hill gets back, blocks a shot, starts giving it that fist pumping again. I'm thinking I'd have put my head down because I've made a mistake, but he defends it very well. Bournemouth on the attack. Evan Nielsen puts it into the box. It's a shin. Good save from Ryan Christie again. David Brooks has just come on. I mean, we might get a goal. I said we wouldn't. I mean, it's been wide open from Aston Villa's point of view. They have made some more changes, which I will tell you in 1 second. David Brooks to the edge of the box, reverses it to Adam Smith, who's come on. Adam Smith for Jimenez, goal scorer. Ryan for David Brooks, on for Aston Villa. Bogard on, and Tammy Abraham for Watkins and Luca Digne.
Move on to the first ever meeting in the Scottish Cup 5th round, the Fife derby between Dunfermline Athletic and the Championship. Neil Lennon's Dunfermline Athletic, and of course he was a 3 times winner as a player and a 4-time winner as a manager. Well, they are now leading Kelty Hearts over bottom of League 1 by 2 goals to this. Chris Kane, who scored his 2nd goal of the afternoon. It looks like Dunfermline Athletic are going to be booking their place in the 6th round. Rangers against Queen's Park tomorrow, Stenhousemuir against Falkirk, but Dundee United against Spartans was postponed, along with Aberdeen against Motherwell. That was postponed yesterday. Right, Cheltenham Town have got a goal back. Isaac Hutchinson just got his 9th goal of the season to give Paul Woolside a little bit of a nervy finish to that game. I don't think it's going to be a very nervy finish at the Emirates.
No, not all. There's a stoppage in the game here. Trossard's gone down injured. He's laying down there, so it'll be interesting to see how he is. Hopefully he's okay. But yeah, since you last come to me, Arsenal's still comfortable 2-0, waiting to see the clock down. How long? About 3 minutes and 2 minutes and extra injury time of about probably 4. So 7 left. 6.
Don't worry too much, Merce. But it looks at the moment they're on course to going 9 points clear of City and a 13th clean sheet along the way as well. Let's go back to the game between Wolverhampton Wanderers and Chelsea. The bottom side training by 3 goals.
That's not a killing anyone.
Cole Palmer hat-trick, all of those goals.
They had to catch them now.
In the first half, what's the atmosphere?
City bottle it.
Reaches its conclusion, boy.
Aston Villa is also bottle it.
Wolves had a go. I'm just watching their kick earlier.
Amorim bottle it.
Nah, just get back in. Yeah, Wolves had that go to. They got that goal back there. They were asking questions of Chelsea, but they've steadied themselves now. Chelsea, they've got the goal back. So they've got the ball back. Control. Oh, what a ball in! Oh my days, what a ball that was for Fernandes. Neto finds himself unmarked at the back post. This is a free header.
City bottle it. Villa bottle it. Ruben Amorim bottle it.
What an opportunity to make it 4-1
Liverpool
for
bottle it.
Pedro Neto. He just drifts in there. Enzo Fernandez, it's a beautiful, I mean, I don't even know how he sees it. Neto's behind a few bodies, he just does it, clips it to the back post. He really should be doing better. Oh, wow, he's got another shot here. Side net, still 3-1.
And there they go again. The league leaders in League 2 probably have turned it around. They were a goal down against Fleetwood Town, but back they come. And it's Jude Arthurs who scored in the 91st minute. They're on a run of 11 unbeaten. It could be 12. The league leaders doing it again. They turn it around away to Fleetwood Town and lead 2 goals to 1 with only minutes remaining in that game. Let's go back to the game between Burnley and West Ham and see this feels like a significant day in terms of the relegation fight for those teams just above West Ham.
Yeah, it really does. And West Ham are managing the game well. Burnley have struggled to break them down, really. Then when they've had set pieces, the set pieces haven't really been good enough. So you can praise West Ham's defending and the way that they're seeing this game out. Burnley's still pushing. They've made a lot of substitutions, but yeah, really struggling for that quality in the final third. 2-0 to West Ham.
David Moyes looking a little bit nervous in the stands at Craven Cottage. Fulham trailing Everton by 2 goals to 1. Everton have turned it around, and Fulham giving them a nervy finish, Rob.
Not really. I don't think he needs to be too nervous because Fulham are playing exactly into Everton's hands at the moment. So just putting balls into the box. And now that Branthwaite is on, they've got 4 huge defenders. It's like the back half of a scrum in the Six Nations. And Everton are dealing with it very comfortably. And all the crisp, incisive build-up play of Fulham in the first half is a distant memory. And it looks as though Everton are going to go forward and see this one out as they aim on towards Beto. And Sue Smith said to me earlier in the week that I was Everton's good luck charm this season. That's set to continue, Susan. 2-1 they lead.
Cara Lisby has a hat-trick. It's Peterborough United hit Wigan Athletic for 6.
Arsenal
Lisbon
2-0 up.
6 goal. His hat-trick. What a day that has been for Luke Williams' side. And Partick Thistle are through to the 6th round of the Scottish Cup in that Fife derby. It has finished Elgin City 2, Partick Thistle 0. Stranraer Athletic has finished 0-0 in Scottish League 2. And look at that, Huddersfield coming from 2 goals down to now be level
Barcelona
against
2-0
Blackpool at
up.
home. Cameron Ashai with a goal on 88 minutes. Could Liam Manning make it 4 wins out of 4, 3 out of 3 coming to today? Since he joined the club, they've come from behind. It's going to be a nervy finish, that's for sure, at Huddersfield. Can somehow the league leaders in the Championship, with the team just behind them on goal difference, Middlesbrough going on Monday against Sheffield United, pull something out of the bag late on? Here's Mark McAdam.
Frank Lampard will be certainly hoping so. There's 8 minutes of added time here at the CBS, and as you can imagine, it's all Coventry City. They are pressing, probing, but they cannot find a gap, and there's so much talk about a back 3 or a back 4. Matt Bloomfield is doing a back 6 at the moment for Oxford, and it seems to be working. 0-0.
Looks like it's going to be a first win in 10 for the team with the longest winless run in League One. Northampton Town now 3-1 up against Stevenage. Let's go back to Dorset, because Bournemouth with a corner right near the end doors.
Yeah, it's come from a shot from Christie, deflected wide. I mean, both teams are pushing. Villa just had a moment where they were dominated at the other end, and they break down the left-hand side with Adley, and then Truffert. The work rate of both sets of players, the intensity in swinging corner here from Lewis Cook. You're going to stay with me?
We are, Dawes.
Yeah, defending well by Anana. It's going to be another corner for Bournemouth. Both teams have tried to win this 1-1 as we are.
4 wins and 5 away home from East Kilbride. They've beaten the bottom side Edinburgh City by 2 goals. They'll back to the Championship. A Hull City going to rescue something. A Bristol City going to hold on. Here's Andy Walker.
Well, Simon, we're in the 93rd minute here, but we still get 7 to go. 10 added because of that squirrel delay. And it's all Hull. They're getting a lot of crosses into the box. But Bristol City are defending well. Getting a lot from the likes of Liam Miller. He's come on playing wide left and getting a lot of good quality balls into the box. But still, they're hanging on here, Bristol City. 3-2 they lead.
The league leaders in Scottish League 1 have won by 3 goals to 0. I think this would have been an absolute coupon buster today, because Cambridge United took around about 1,000 fans to take on the bottom side Harrogate Town in League 2, and Harrogate Town have won by 2 goals to 1. So the best unbeaten run in the top 4 divisions of Cambridge United, which stretched to 14 games, is officially over. That is a big win for Harrogate Town this afternoon. Big win for Millwall. They have beaten Wrexham by 2 goals to 0. That's a full time in that one. And look at that, Bromley have turned it around, and they just do not know when they're beaten Bromley this season. Now go unbeaten in their last 11. 1-0 down away to Fleetwood Town, and the league leaders have won. And it is finally full time in the game. We're going to go to first of
Arsenal
all,
3-0.
the icing is on the cake, and it's that man again.
Yeah, and it's Gyökeres again. It's 3-0. And Martinelli does brilliant. The ball just looked up front. It bounces between him and the defender. Defender don't know what to do. He flicks it over his head and he's away. He ain't going to catch it, but Gyökeres is running with him. Defender's tracking him back. And I'm going, pass. He rolls it across and he puts it into the empty net. Gyökeres. Game over. 3-0. 2 for Gyökeres.
League leaders Rochdale have won against Carlisle. Meanwhile, it is full time between Bournemouth and Aston Villa. It's finished 1-1. And the vitality was Aston Villa hit the front first. Morgan Rogers getting the double figures for the season, taking the 10 in all competitions before Ryan equalised with his first Bournemouth goal after his £30 million move. And 1-1 is how it finishes at the vitality this afternoon. Villa winning by 4 goals to 0 back in November at home. A much more even contest today. 1-1 it finishes on the South Coast. Birmingham City have beaten Leicester City by 2 goals to 1, so the troubles continue for Leicester City. Remember, deducted 6 points this week without a manager after Cifuentes was sacked as well. Only outside the relegation zone going into today on goal difference. After that deduction, back to Boydie. Final stages at Molineux between Chelsea and Wolves. Chelsea leading by 3 goals to 1. How's this one finishing, Boydie?
Yeah, there was 7 minutes added, Simon. Wilson another opportunity, a long throw in the box. Rodrigo Gomez gets his head down on the ground, but Sanchez was there to pick it up, comfortable enough. 3-1 Chelsea, they'll see this one out. Neil Lennon, who's of course a Scottish Cup winner many times as a player and a manager, his side are through the
Here we go, brother. Green and gold.
In that one, let's go back to the
3
final
point
stages
now
of
behind.
Cottage. Everton still leading
3
Fulham
point
by
behind
2 goals to 1.
Aston Villa and Man City.
Yeah, it looks like it. This is their last chance, I would say.
So
Joachim Anderson with
we
the ball
win
at the back. He has
against
just wasted
West
a good
Ham.
opportunity.
We go
Well
above
placed on the right-hand side to cross it.
Aston Villa.
Chris Kavanagh blows the full-time whistle, and there is your game of two halves. David Moyes punches the sky, his team, from a goal down to win 2-1. Kieran Dewsbury Hall scored the first, made the second for Jake O'Brien. Fulham now with just one win in 10 attempts against Everton at Craven Cottage. Everton march on, they win 2-1.
And then get on to march on in League Two. They're now unbeaten in the last 6. They
Come
have beaten
on,
Cheltenham
Sunderland,
Town
you messed it up,
eventually
man.
by 3 goals to 2.
We were,
As Everton beat
we were watching
Fulham
this
and
game,
turned
hoping
around.
Sunderland
And
would
it's
do
also
something to
finished in
Arsenal.
the Championship where Deep Town and Preston North End have held on to beat Portsmouth by 1-0. They drew against Ipswich last time out. Paul Higginbottom's side, and they get a win. It's only their 5th win in the last 17 Championship games as well. Massive win in League One for troubled Northampton Town. Starting the day second from bottom, a point from safety. But today they have beaten Stevenage by 3 goals to 1. And Alex Ravel's side's form at the start of the season, which was so impressive, really has fallen off a cliff edge in recent games. Big win that for Northampton Town. Still going in the Premier League in the game between Burnley and West Ham. How are Burnley finishing this one on what has been another disappointing day, Sue?
Yeah, it has, and they had an opportunity a few moments ago just to make it a nervy finish. Josh Laron on the right-hand side does really well, picks out Broja, who's come on as a substitute. Mavropanos comes across and blocks it, and that is what West Ham have been doing. They've defended their penalty area so well. That's full-time side.
That is another massive, massive win for West Ham. It is now, for West Ham, 3 points away from safety. That man, Crescencio Somerville, flying 5 wins in a row. First player to do that since Jesse Lingard in 2021. Castellanos added a second. West Ham win by 2 goals to 0, and they go only 3 points away from safety and 3 points behind Nottingham Forest, who lost last night. Let's hear about some very late drama that's coming in the game between Cardiff City and Rotherham United. Here's Peter Smith.
Isak Davis has made it 3-0 off the bench, right from the halfway line, burst inside the area, worked an angle and fired in from 8 yards. Rotherham United 0, Cardiff City 3.
Not really drama, more of a procession. And the same can be said for this man, Mikel Arteta, because his side have beaten Sunderland by 3 goals to 0. Zubamende with his 6th goal of the season. Brilliant goal, that one. And then Gyökeres scored the next 2, taking him to 6 in his last 8 games. He's banging form. Arsenal winning by 3 goals to 0. They go 9 points ahead.
9 points.
Manchester City, they remain top, and they are absolutely in the driving seat and accelerating in terms of the title race. They've beaten Sunderland by 3 goals to 0. It is over tomorrow to Manchester City for their trip in the second part of Super Sunday to take on the champions Liverpool. The Saturday night football this evening comes from Newcastle United up against Brentford. It's a 5:30.
We're going to be streaming that game.
Enjoy this one.
Need to set that one up quickly.
Thank you, Simon. Saturday night football is live from St James's Park.
St James's
and the big
Park.
news for Newcastle is that Bruno Guimaraes is back.
Bruno G is back for Newcastle. Wisa is on, but I guarantee you Brentford will beat them. It's one of the toughest places to go play football. Newcastle, St James's Park. Really nice stadium as well, but the away room is the worst away dressing room I've seen. Let me set this game up. I think the Arsenal game should be over now. Let's have a look at that. Yeah, full time. That's over. Up the Newcastle Brentford stream, hopefully. Just carry on with this one.
Sunderland. At the bottom of the table, then it was Burnley against West Ham. West Ham picking up 3 really important points. They're now 3 points away from safety as well. But in the other game, Wolves against Chelsea, Chelsea continue their fine form under Liam Brasenia. Cole Palmer with a hat-trick, a first-half hat-trick in that game. But our focus here tonight with a 5:30 kick-off at St James's Park between Newcastle and Brentford. And Newcastle, who were without a win in the last 3 league games, will certainly be hoping to start picking up some form. As for Brentford, though, they have their sights set on Europe.
After the summer of change, it wasn't supposed to be like this for Brentford.
The performance levels, the spirit of the group, it doesn't really surprise me.
What a fantastic afternoon for the Bees. There's Thiago on the stretch. Brentford can barely believe this. Down to the man. Here he goes from the goalkeeper. There's no stopping this man at the moment. So they've got their eyes on Europe right now. This is Brentford. This is Brentford.
Well, Keith Andrews' side really are dreaming of a push for those European places. They win here at St James's Park, they would go level on points with Liverpool before they take on Manchester City tomorrow. That's on Super Sunday. Earlier today, Manchester United made it 4 wins from 4 under Michael Carrick in their win against Spurs, and that means they keep their place in 4th. As for Newcastle, then, they'll be looking to bounce back from going out of the Carabao Cup at Manchester City on Wednesday night. They start the day in the bottom half, but 3 points this evening will put them level on points with the visitors. Well, Eddie Howe makes 5 changes from that defeat at City in the Cup. The big news is captain Bruno Guimaraes is back after missing the last 4 games with an ankle injury. Jan Wisser faces his former club, while Anthony Gordon misses out through a hamstring injury, so Harvey Barnes takes his place. As for Brentford, Keith Andrews makes just the 1 change from the win at Villa Park. Kevin Schade is suspended after receiving a red card in that game, so Keane Lewis-Potter comes in. Captain Nathan Collins is once again on the bench as Ayer and Van den Berg continue their partnership in the centre of defence. Well, that's Ferdinand and Izzy Christensen with me in the studio for the build-up to this game. And Les, we know, of course, how much of a legend you are at Newcastle, but you also have a bit of history at Brentford, don't you?
Just a little bit of history.
Go on, explain this.
I'm glad it's sort of like, looks like it's black and white.
I was about to say that, yeah.
Yeah, when I went to QPR, it was really strange that I could have gone to Brentford or QPR. Steve Perryman was the manager at Brentford at the time. And it was between QPR. I ended up going to QPR, and Steve Perryman took me on loan a couple of months later, and I went to Brentford for a month. I think they put in their fanzine at some stage that I was the worst player they'd ever had on loan at some stage.
No.
But, yeah.
I don't believe that. It actually took us a really long time to try and find this picture, but I'm so glad we have.
I've never seen it.
For context, I don't think we were born there.
All right. In terms of Brentford, then, they are on a really good run at the moment, and why not dream of Europe at this point?
Well, absolutely. I mean, if you told Keith Andrews at the start of the season when he took over from Thomas Frank that he'd be 3 points away from the champions in Liverpool, I mean, I'm not sure what his reaction would have been, but what I love about Keith Andrews and the mentality he's instilled in this Brentford squad is so admirable. You saw last week when they got that massive win against Aston Villa, you know, the resilience going down to 10 men, you know, the defensive display and then the quality they've got in the side, and losing 4 big players in the summer to then transition, you know, bringing new players in, the experience of Jordan Henderson, you know, obviously that's going to have a huge impact on the group, and they're absolutely flying, so absolutely, why not dream of Europe?
In terms of Newcastle, then, how important is this game today to really start picking up some important form?
But absolutely, it's hugely important. You know, Guimaraes being back as well. You know, they've slipped up in recent weeks and not been able to win a game. I think they haven't won in 3 or 4 games, and so at home, the form has been pretty good. So they'll be looking at that today and thinking, we're back at home. Let's get back to winning ways.
Okay, we'll see if they can do it. Let's hear then from the Brentford manager, Keith Andrews. He's been chatting with Luke Shanley.
Keith, the guys in the studio keeping a lot of praise on your team, even mentioning the word Europe. How much at this stage of the season do you embrace that, or is it a case of not getting distracted ahead of this big game?
Yeah, it's not a word I've used, apart from holiday destinations, maybe in the summer. But no, we're ticking along okay, obviously. We're pretty pleased with the progress that we've made. The performance levels in the main have been pretty good. So hopefully we get another one this afternoon.
1934, the last time a Brentford team won at Newcastle. How tough will it be to change that today?
Very tough. Really good coach. I have a lot of admiration for the way his teams have always played, really. And the journey he's brought this football club on clearly has been a really impactful one. So yeah, it's going to be a tough test without doubt.
One change today, we know it's enforced, but does that maybe suggest how content you've been, especially last week's performance, and not mixing it up even more?
Yeah, Kevin's obviously suspended, so Keano comes in. It is always difficult to pick the team. I think the competition for places is fierce. It's healthy. I haven't had a lot of sleep on a couple of occasions this week, deliberating what the right team was and tactics were around where we're at to cause Newcastle problems because of the way the boys train and the way they perform predominantly. But I feel it's the right one obviously to go with.
Good luck today.
Thank you.
But one player that Keith Andrews is certainly going to be hoping that is going to impress again is Christopher Ajer, because he had such a good performance last weekend. What do you like particularly about him, and what does he bring to this team, Izzy?
Well, I think the experience that Ajer brings into this back four for Brentford. We know that Brentford over the years have played a back five, and he's played in a back three, right side of the centre-back role. And I think that, what impresses me the most about him, is his pace, in terms of his ability to deal with the threat in behind, which will be tested a lot tonight, obviously with the Newcastle forward line being quick in particular, but also his possessional play, the way that he can knock balls in behind, he does it with so much intelligence. And again, he had such an impact against Aston Villa last weekend in the goal that won them the game. That was his long ball forward that caused the problems in the box, and a superb finish in the end. So I just think he's the epitome of what this Brentford side is right now. Resilient, hard-working, really humble, and their winning mentality, you can see it oozing out of them.
At the other end of the pitch then, Igor Thiago, another player that everyone's talking about. Really important player for Brentford as well. He's really stepped up into that role, hasn't he?
He certainly has. I saw him at the start of the season. He played against Aston Villa in the Carabao Cup. And I want to get out on the limb, and I'm going to say arguably the best centre-forward display I've seen this season. I think in terms of centre-forward, he's got everything. He can hold it up. And it was the first time I'd seen a centre-forward for a long time. Ball gets kicked out by the goalkeeper, ball down his chest, bringing his players into play. But the most important ingredient he's got is he scores goals. He's got 16 goals already this season. He's on fire. He's confident, and as you said, he leads the line perfectly well for Brentford.
Yeah, big statement that. Agree?
Huge statement, but it's coming from someone with prestigious Premier League quality, and I'd completely back that in terms of his output. Like Les said, 16 goals already this season, and for context, Jan Wisser 19 goals last season for Brentford. So that just goes to show 3 more goals. And he's already there and probably going to surpass that if he's successful again, towards the end of the season. But to echo what Les has said, the threat in behind, the hold-up play, the mentality, the hunger, and it helps Brentford's charge, having a player of his quality. When your striker's on form, it helps the charge, and you've got quality up front. It just means there's so much faith within the group to get in the ball early and see what you can do in the final third.
So big compliments from the studio for Igor Thiago. When we come back after this quick break, we're going to be focusing on Newcastle.
I'd love to see Brentford do Newcastle tonight. That'll be nice. That'll be the icing on the cake. Brentford doing Newcastle. We all supported Everton to do the job. Sunderland to do the job. Right? Sunderland failed. They failed. So we're still the only team, one of the teams that won at Emirates. At the Emirates. Sunderland failed us today, man. But Arsenal is a tough place. It's a tough place to go now. Make it so hard for you. Whew. This game is coming up shortly, guys.
So defeat at Anfield last Saturday and defeat Manchester City on Wednesday means it's not been a great week for Newcastle. Let's hear from anyhow. It's Nick Shanley.
It's been a tough run of away games back at home now. I guess there's been patches and elements of good in recent performances. How do you get that complete game though today?
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I think moments in the Liverpool game were really good. Moments in the Manchester City game were really good, especially in that second half. Putting it together is going to be key today. Very thankful to be back at home. Feels like a while since we've played here. We love playing here, and hopefully that will show today.
How tough a test will it be, though?
Yeah, it'll be a big test. I think Brentford have done really well this season. They've got obvious strengths, set plays, good physical team. They've got a striker in form. So for us, yeah, we know that when we play at home, I think if we're at our top level, I think we can be a match for anybody.
How big a boost is it to have Bruno back in the team?
It's a massive lift, I think, for a number of reasons, really. I think he's just a fantastic footballer. He's a talisman for us. We feel stronger when he's with us. So we're missing a few other players, but having him back is a huge boost today.
Visser starts and against his old team. How do you utilise him to the best ability today?
Well, I think, we're going to have to give him chances in and around the box. That's his best asset. You know, he's a chance taker. He's a really clinical striker at his very, very best. He senses goals. He's in the right place at the right time. So it's about the team functioning and trying to put the ball in that area as much as we can.
Good luck today. Thank you.
So So just the one win in the last 7 for Newcastle. When you look at this and you look at the fixtures they've got coming up, Les, can you sense a little bit of unrest from the Newcastle fan base?
Yeah, because it doesn't make for good reading. You know, one win in the last 6 games, and then you look at what's to come. And as we said, away from home, they haven't been good. They've got a home game today, so it's imperative they win this because the away form hasn't been that good this season. I think they've only won 3 games away from home, so you can understand why there's a bit of unrest. You know, he's done a fantastic job, and it's really strange standing here saying that because they had the best year they've had in the entire history last year, and all of a sudden this year it's not gone to plan.
The big news, and really positive news though for Newcastle, is that Bruno Guimaraes is back. I couldn't believe when I heard this stat, but I suppose it is believable because he's such a good player. Newcastle haven't won when he's not played, and of course since he signed on his debut. Clearly shows just how important a player he is for Newcastle.
Yeah, absolutely massive. I think, you know, firstly the player, you know, the ability that he's got on the ball, you know, the way he can dictate a football match, but also the personality as well. He's, you know, am I right in saying, Les, he's a massive favourite with the Newcastle fans. You can see the impact he has on the team, his leadership, you know, the hunger. And I can't sum it up any more than saying the personality, his character, it's Newcastle written all over. And having him back is a massive boost, but also you don't want to get too set on that being the boost, putting the pressure on him to sort it out. You know, it's about everybody else, but he will definitely be a cog in this Newcastle side that will help them turn again. And then if they've got more players coming back, then that adds more boost further down the line. But right now, this is the man they need on this pitch to perform tonight.
And Sandro Tonali next to him as well. There's been a little bit of speculation about him, but surely a really important player for them to keep hold of, Newcastle.
I think Eddie's come out and said it. You know, we know what happened last year with Isaac and all the furore about him and people talking about him. You don't want the same thing to happen to Tonali. The last thing you want to do is to be losing your best players, and he's certainly one of Newcastle's best players. So he'll be trying to dampen that down as much as possible. But the only way you keep your best players is by winning games of football.
Johan Wissa starting up front as well. So he's facing his former club. What will tonight be like for him, do you think?
It's easy to say, but the importance for Johan Wissa tonight is to take the fact that you're playing against your old club out the equation if you can. Because for him, it's about putting games together, momentum. You know, he's had a sort of, you know, his start to his life at Newcastle has been a bit staggered. He just wants to gather momentum, and Eddie Howe's alluded to it there. You know, his ability as a striker. You know, we know the threat that he's got, but he needs those chances, and what a better time to do it at home in front of those fans at St James's Park. You know, the noise. If he gets on the score sheet tonight, massive for Newcastle.
Just the one goal then so far for Johan Wissa. He'll be hoping that he can impress tonight as well. The players are warming up at this field.
laser out. Did you ever hear this under Amorim? Never saw a full successive win under Ruben Amorim. You niggas are... Your laser out. Did you ever hear this under...
With that 3-0 win against Sunderland, and that is your game of the day. From today, that will be shown straight after us. And on the 6th and 12th February, all Premier League games will be dedicated to Pride and LGBTQ+ history month. That's to highlight and celebrate the LGBTQ+ community in football.
Form's not been great, but they'll get behind them too.
Brentford, though, is he? You're going to come into this game full of confidence, especially at St James's Park, which is a really difficult place to come to, especially with the atmosphere.
Yeah, and Keith Andrews alluded to that, obviously, before the game, around the atmosphere that can be generated inside St James's Park. Keith Andrews is a smart guy. He knows the context around this game. He knows the back of that tremendous win against Aston Villa last weekend, where he would have to do the group. They'll come here with a plan. I think, in terms of dealing with the threat of Newcastle, pace and high, Eddie Howe's going to want to see a lot of energy tonight from his team to get the supporters on side early. Brentford got to find a way to stifle that. And I also think Brentford have got it in their locker as well, just to have that bit of attitude as well. The likes of Jan out against the midfield, that bit of quality, freedom of forwards. I think it's going to be a cracking game.
That being said, then, what kind of game are you expecting to get these two today?
Well, I'm expecting Newcastle to come out from the front because they need to. The Brentford defence has been in recent weeks, but because they're at home, I think they'll get out Brentford and make it tough. They'll want to take advantage of the atmosphere that Brentford are coming today.
All right, then, let's hand you over to your match commentator, then, Arthur. This is Brad Football.
Well, the man at the head of the Newcastle line, Bruno Guimaraes, his return with some encouragement after what has been a sticky week. It started well at Liverpool before going to that 4-1 defeat. Today, Johan Visser faces his former club off the back of their exit from the Carabao Cup. Brentford coming here A strong situation as well after their victory last weekend on the road at Villa Park. For the second time this season, Eddie Howe faces Brentford with Anthony Morton sidelined by injury. The last time didn't turn out so well. Nick Pope was forced off with concussion, and Denver was sent off with a 3-1 defeat. Byrne is left out today as Harry returns to a back four after their Carabao Cup loss to Manchester City. Sven Botman plays his way on for the club. They had won a game in the absence of Bruno Guimaraes, but he's only missing the last four with an ankle injury. In all, it's 5 changes from Wednesday, when none of the front three started, when Johan Wissa returns today to face his former club for the first time. Lewis Blind is still on the list of absentees, and Anthony Elanga remains on the bench after coming on to score his first goal for the club at the Etihad. The only change that Keane Andrews makes to his Brentford team is forced on him after their win at Aston Villa. Praveen Kelleher plays the 50th Premier League match of his career, a week after another former Liverpool player, Sepp Vandenberg, reached the same mark. Jordan Henderson returns to the North East, defying the odds and enjoying the revival in his Premier League and international careers. The only change from Villa Park, where they won with 10 men, is because of Kevin Sharp's suspension. Keane Lewis Potter fills in. A reason why Wissa's move here hasn't been felt too much is the scoring return of Igor Thiago. Only Erling Haaland has scored 4 in the division this season. Club captain Nathan Collins once again begins on the bench as he's eased back in after a knock. Brentford Allen was sore about losing this man. Yeah, telling you now that last week we simply up the front. He turned into messy balls in the end as the player tried to pull it out. It's not as straightforward for him since driving injuries played a big part. Baltimore is injured with a goal jab, so Eddie Howe needs him firing. On the flip side, Igor Thiago, well, he's been fantastic. It feels like actually his first season at Brentford. Injury kept him out for most of the last one, but he's making up for it now. He's strong, he's direct, quick, he knows where to go. He's a real plus.
I reckon Brentford is going to destroy Newcastle today.
For that 3-3 draw. Keith Andrews has had an excellent first season in charge of Brentford so far.
Kid is loving life, man.
So it is back to business for Newcastle after they surrendered the Carabao Cup, kissing goodbye to that competition with the trophy that they won last March, heading either to Arsenal or Manchester City, who knocked them out in the semi-finals. So there is a feeling here that Newcastle do have to get back on track, still plenty to fight for, place in Europe via their league position. They're still in the Champions League with a playoff, and there's an FA Cup tie to come next weekend too.
Yeah, plenty to look forward to, but it has been a tough spell. Now talking about having to protect the confidence of his players. It would have hit them quite hard. Some of the recent games and results from the PSG, Liverpool, Manchester City, all away from home. Far from easy.
Launched by Kelleher towards Ouattara, who was the hero of Brentford's last outing, scoring a winning goal for the second time this season against Aston Villa. It was Christopher Iron who was outstanding for Brentford in that performance. And now Michael Coyote, whose long throw opened up the Newcastle defence in the 3-1 victory that Brentford achieved on home territory back in November.
Yeah, they were a better side, even though they wouldn't have gone down. Brentford and Coyote at the heart of it.
Headed back from Botman, dropped short, and was there a pullback there by Kieran Trippier. Keane Lewis Potter
is leading the appeal as he was the player offended against.
Certainly something for VAR to look at there.
Took on the shirt, Trippier, who was the player who committed the offence, if it was one. Here is Harvey Barnes. And the attempt at goal is wide from Harvey Barnes.
Looking at him in the warm-up, and he was burying these from this kind of distance with those right foot curlers. He's a good finisher, Harvey Barnes. Not far out at the other end. It's a poor defensive header from Botman, and Trippier struggling. It's a definite pull of the shirt, but I don't think VAR feel it's enough.
Matthias Jensen was appealing on Brentford's behalf, but the VAR decision sees Kieran Trippier given a reprieve.
It's a difficult one to explain to Keith Andrews. That
it's a clear pull of the shirt. Here's Rico Henry.
such a strong ego Thiago is. Pinched off Kieran Trippier.
Scored twice in that victory Brentford have already achieved against Newcastle this season. It's beyond the reach of Jensen, who again has the captain's armband today in the absence of Nathan Collins, who still finds himself on the bench.
And playing in that number 10 position. Collins had a good season, but Damsgaard, who's normally in that number 10 slot, not quite enjoying the success he did last season.
Talked by Lewis Potter. Here is Jensen. Now Vandenberg. This is Aya to Coyote. Swept forward the first time by Jordan Henderson. Andy Madley's in charge today.
Lewis Hall. The ball here, definitely.
Both these teams adept and creative with their set pieces. Jan Alt and Matthias Jensen are over the kick, for which Meyer has stepped forward to join the likes of Thiago at the edge of the box. Playing short to Matthias Jensen. And all the way across to Christopher Aya. It's just beyond the reach of Jordan Henderson. Lewis Potter coming in on it. Cleared up to Coyote, who's last man back for Brentford. And very nearly gave that one away to Sandro tonight. He got away with one there, Michael Coyote. Botman aware of where Thiago was. Let's get a little bit more about the man than the ball in the first instance.
It's been a good positive start from the away team, playing most of their football in Newcastle's half.
Buoyed by that victory in Birmingham. They've been better on the road of late after an awkward start away from home, Brentford. Here's Vandenberg. By Rico Henry to Jordan Henderson. Looking to change direction and find Rico Henry. Murphy's on the way up. He goes to Matthias Jensen, and Lewis Potter tries to get it out of his feet. Suddenly finding himself surrounded. It's that pressure that fended off Brentford for now, but Jan has won it back. Back from Henry. Now Jordan Henderson trying to curl one in, and Pope keeps an eye on it.
It's a bit of a nervy start for Newcastle, and that comes with those results we were talking about. Just need to try and gain a foothold in this game.
One win in their last 7 matches. That was in the Champions League here against PSV. Kept in by Barnes. Immediately under pressure from Michael Coyote. Too much on there, the defender. On by Lewis Potter. Here's Lewis Hall. He's trying to find a way through, and he's caught by Jordan Henderson. Tackling there from Jordan Henderson, which has taken Lewis Hall out. And given Newcastle this free kick. Kieran Trippier was first to the ball at the awarding of a free kick. Not the only option here for Newcastle, however.
It's a good spot for a free kick there.
There's Potter. To step back just a few more yards. So we had some time to consider who would be the best option here out of Trippier and Tonali, and Trippier is stepping away.
Tonali's taking this one.
And Tonali goes for the target, misses the target.
Absolutely. Skied it.
Let's have another look at this non-penalty award against Kieran Trippier.
Trippier knew he was back in trouble here with that poor defensive header. And he's held on to it long enough for me. And you feel the pull. If you're Lewis Potter, you're going to go down.
He was pulling him. He was pulling it. That should not been a pen to Brentford.
He would have got sent off as well, of course, Trippier.
The VAR verdict was a small pull, and the ball had already been laid off, but it's certainly one that's open to question. And well, I'm sure
they've had a nightmare today. United, they could have given at least 2 red cards or 2 pens.
Knocked on by Willock towards Harvey Barnes.
Scruffy game.
Losing out to Henderson, who tried to release Lautaro quickly. Let's come back here to Lewis Hall. Carrying the fight to Brentford and then overplaying it. Here's Thiago. For a moment he was in Jensen's way. Henderson, great vision of
very
his,
scruffy game,
Rico Henry being forced back by Murphy.
Just think the rhythm quicker than Newcastle, Brentford out there. Early days, but his side looked a little tentative.
This team need an uplift in confidence at the moment. It's suffering a bit from the run that they have been on. They've given themselves a fighting chance of progressing in the Champions League, although it hasn't been inconvenient for them to have 2 extra matches, especially with the distance involved of going to Azerbaijan for first of the 2 legs against Karabakh. The home leg is their next home game after this.
the biggest squad. So everybody's going to have to pitch in. Really busy month this for them.
Harvey Barnes has been one of their performers in big games this season. Came into its own in the Champions League in Paris recently. Now Bruno Guimaraes. Here's Tonali. This is Trippier. Murphy. Tonali. Possession just to steady themselves.
Passage of possession won't do them any harm at all.
Tonali, about whom the speculation has already started. Newcastle fans probably already fearing a repeat of the Isak saga.
Contract till 2029. So it's down to the club. That's modern football.
And let's not forget Brentford were just as sore as Newcastle were on the loss of Isak, the loss of Wissa. That one is swung in.
A bit of a mix-up at the back post there. Maybe could have avoided giving a corner away.
Managed by a former set-piece coach at Brentford, Brentford, certainly in defending set-pieces. They've done a very good job. Tonali gets bent on that one, and Kelleher gets to it. It's Murphy who strikes it, and then the flick is wide from Barnes.
Little fortunate here, having given those impressive stats from these situations. Very nearly conceding. It's a reflex action for Harvey Barnes and a good one.
With a dozen goals, he is Newcastle's top scorer this season. The brace in the last Premier League win that they did achieve, the 4-3 success against Leeds. Here's Ouattara taking on Lewis Hall. All stretching and not getting there as it's pulled back to Jensen. The crosses towards Lewis Potter, who gets it back in towards Thiago, who's just muscled out of the way, but there was a bit of concern in the Newcastle ranks then.
A really good defensive header by Sven Botman. It needed to be as well. But Ouattara just skipping past Lewis Hall, that would do the winger a lot of good and put some doubt in the mind of the fullback.
Botman is one of those players who's recently extended his deal here to 2030, so they've had the best of intentions in trying to tie key assets to longer term contracts. Should be getting up ahead of Keane, Lewis Potter. Those two have been involved in the big talking point of the match so far. Here's Murphy merging with it, but then giving it away. And Jensen lines one up. It's a fairly tame one that Pope can deal with.
Yeah, he's wondering whether to pass or shoot. So much time and space there, Jensen.
Murphy relieved that came to nothing.
You can feel the nervousness within St James's Park. I know their players are struggling to find the feet out there.
Big ideas, big expectations, particularly as they've now got back on the trophy winning trail. It has to be said, certainly amongst the away support at the Etihad the other night, the backing for his opposite number anyhow was rock solid. They were chanting his name for much of the evening, even when it was going against him so badly.
About 2 or 3 goals, couldn't they? But first half defensively, it was a quite a mess. Lewis Potter and Bruno Guimaraes. Can be deceptive sometimes. Touches in the opposition box. Hints at how the match has panned out so far. Here's Guimaraes. Everybody's going to get his team going. That's Guimaraes. That's their lucky charm in the Premier League. Doesn't miss too many Premier League games, but when he does, they don't talk to him. Straight passes though from the team in black and white. Chow. Here's Botman. Kieran Trippier. This is Johan Wisser. Surprisingly being jeered from the away end. So they will have enjoyed that moment. Andrews alluded to the fact that this will be a much calmer transfer window for Brentford. I think he was thinking back to the time when they didn't want to lose Wisser, but they were forced into a situation in the end where they had to. There's Botman. No surprise in some ways, bearing in mind the first game between these two, that Dan Burn has been left out today was given real difficulties by Dango Ouattara, who was actually booked for simulation before winning the penalty from Burn, and to Dan Burn's red card. He's got himself a spot of Ponder there, but
oh, yeah, biscuit.
Yeah, and he lost it.
Did we come to get me? Have you come to get me? That's my biscuit.
To get into trouble in that game, didn't he? In the season.
Where's mine?
Yeah, I think you could all would have comfortable against Ouattara.
Well done.
Oh no! Ouattara's side though. Saunders one who has to contain him this evening. He's done well this season, Lewis Hall. Come back from injury. There's Ouattara to Coyote. Coyote's gone on with it. Pulls it across towards Lewis Potter. Just couldn't find the finishing touch. Benson skips away from Trippier. Now Jan Alt. They look so confident, Brentford, when they're going forward. Crossed by Ouattara, Lewis Potter tries to get there, but Trippier ahead of him.
So we need to give him medicine here.
A really poor away record really for most of this season, Brentford, but lately it's picked up. See that with their play. This first 20 minutes out there. One of their first 8 on the road, that was at West Ham. But from those poor pickings, it's suddenly switched, and they've now won 3 of their last 4 on the road away from home in the Premier League. To their home form, just dreaming of a first appearance in a major European competition.
There's no paper at the minute. There's no paper at the minute. I'm watching the game. I'm watching the game.
There's no getting too carried away with that.
You're watching the game.
Here's Henry. It's been a flexible player across the back. Settled role as a centre half in this team. It's a good addition at a time where
A lot of people raised doubts over their Premier League security because of the number of players that they were losing. Certainly, Norman Whistler robbed them of a lot of goals from last season, but Thiago's more than filled the breach. All under pressure from Ouattara. Deals with it coolly enough. To try and hold off Here's Willock. With the aim of keeping Whistler crossing towards the good play from Joe Willock.
There's no pepper. We are watching this game. After this game, you can have pepper.
The Newcastle skipper is on this one. Rice trying to make it awkward for Brentford at that near post area, so they had to deal with it.
Thiago both getting the touch on it.
Rice.
Goal. Newcastle. Newcastle takes the lead. Newcastle takes the lead here.
These corners have caused Brentford problems. Newcastle really able to string too much together in terms of fluid football, but they've won some set pieces and they've made the most of it. With some good deliveries.
Where's the
He's
fishy?
in that 6-yard box. He's got his back to goal, really, but it's the slightest of glances that he brings up.
That he faced there.
It's just a battle. Look at it first, he gets above Rico Henry. He can't jump. The centre-half does.
His 100th game for Newcastle and the perfect way to mark it. 2 years since his last goal at Liverpool. Ben Botman on the score sheet.
Got the feeling his team badly needed that. Just fumbling in the dark a little bit.
From Botman's put under a bit of pressure here. They've forced Brentford back for now.
Why?
To Brentford now. In terms of
Why? What kind of request is that, Dean?
Conceded first and come back to win in the Premier League already this season against Newcastle. And they trailed to Bobby Barnes and recovered.
Why do you want me to wear my shirt backwards?
I feel hard done by because this team have played some good stuff and look threatening.
And that goes to Brent. React pretty sharply.
Whew. What a save.
A few balls flashed across
What a
Newcastle's
save. What
box.
kind of request is that, Dean Smith? Where have you just come from, mate?
This is Jensen.
Come on, Dean.
Doing that.
Can you kindly wear your Igalo shirt backwards? Why? Is that a joke going around? But my guy.
Paying tribute to their ability to deal with set pieces and corners. It's the first one they've conceded from the corner since the opening day of the season.
Newcastle takes the lead here.
Tonali away. He's got a great form taker in given rights is what they scored from him this season.
Here they come again.
Under real pressure with that one. Correct.
That's funny, mate.
Okay.
Well, Igalo is backwards already. What do you think? That's backwards. So you can see the name, you see his number, right? That's the front. So that'll do. This is number 5, right? You're a funny guy, you. You're a funny guy. Pure jokes, pure jokes.
Here's Harvey Barnes.
This is number 5. This was Rio. Rio's number 5.
Driving right from him.
Oh! Yeah?
Was on the line to deny.
Wow, Newcastle are turning up the hit, brother.
It came to this so quickly.
Newcastle are turning up the hit.
Just a reaction from the number 9. Maybe he thinks he's done enough here.
Ooh, off the line, clearance off the line.
His defensive instincts dropping back, helping out his keeper.
His kick coming all the way out to Tonali.
Newcastle turning up the hit, bro.
The other side.
You can see it from this side. You're about to feel a little nervous, making sure each individual does the job.
Corner kick now.
He's in there again, Sven Botman. He got at the end of the previous Bruno Guimaraes corner. Another one in awkwardly, and that time Raya does get his head to.
Such dangerous balls and so difficult to defend. Those ones whipped. To have him back.
Yeah.
With an ankle injury for Bruno Guimaraes, but he's played his part on his return.
Another corner for Newcastle. Half an hour mark.
Guimaraes, another corner into the crowd. Kelleher on that one, Tonali spotted into the ground back off target.
What scares you? What scares you? What is it? What is that? It scare you?
Here's Henry.
Did it scare you?
Always been a guarantee for any house team this season. They can be a bit fragile when they get themselves into winning positions.
You said it earlier, they did G-Tech. Let's get that open.
Here's Botman. And Tonali. Jacob Murphy. Here's Guimaraes, who spotted the run of Willock and just couldn't deliver for him.
Spot on, but it was certainly on the ball.
Botman. Now Guimaraes. Here's Hall. Take the ball with him. It's cleared as far as Sven Botman. Tonali. Trippier.
Foul.
From behind by Rico Henry.
Whoa, show me. What's scary? What is it? Where is it?
Nothing.
Which one? Yeah. Where? Yeah. What's scary? There's nothing here. There's nothing there. What's scary?
Nice. Young Rissa. Nothing to his left. Nowhere really he could go. That's it. Nothing. Rissa. Here's Thiago. Clean Lewis Potter. Reynolds. Here's Henderson. Jensen. Approach this time, but pulled off for now by Malik Chow. Newcastle steadied themselves after a sticky start with a bit of ball retention, and Brentford just marking out their territory now. Stopped this time by Botman. And again, here's Willock.
Oh, what a turn.
Moving it on neatly. Reynolds away to Jensen. Suddenly seeing some space to move into, and this is a very positive run from the centre half. Lewis Potter, and it's deflected behind, but what a run that was by Christopher Iron.
Yeah, measure of his confidence, stepping into midfield and then stepping into attack. Franz Beckenbauer here, look at the space in front of him as well.
It's helped to win Brentford's first quarter of the match. And we see the effect of a Newcastle corner on the visitors. So, perhaps we'll be hoping to give them a taste of their own medicine here. Swerves his kick in, but it's cleared by Guimaraes back to the corner taker. No nonsense clearance that from Sven Botman. Henry. Brentford now, they keep Newcastle take back. Ouattara trying to force Trippier onto the back foot. Swerves it in, and it's an equaliser.
Equaliser. Boom.
And it's Vitaly Janelt who gets on the end of it as Brentford show their character again.
1-1. Game on.
Well, so much of Ouattara's work has been down the right-hand side.
Game on.
This time, he provides the assist from the left. with one of the best crosses you'll see this season. Janelt, not the first name that will come to mind when you're looking for somebody to equalise, but he's on the spot. What about this for a ball? He glances up and picks his spot. Ouattara. Brilliant play from the winger.
Game on, game on.
That's a tidy header.
What a
Difficult to
cross.
argue that they don't deserve it, Brentford.
What a cross.
Well, it was Newcastle scorer that Janelt out-jumped there to bring joy to Keith Andrews and his backroom staff. A first goal of the season for
Thank you
Janelt,
very much.
and a congratulatory handshake or two with which to enjoy the moment.
Newcastle might bottle this one again.
Back to square one for Newcastle. Here's Barnes. Hall. Thought he had kept that in, but the officials believe it had got the other side of the line.
The assistant, he's on this near side, so he's looking across beyond the goal. We're not straight away.
Tonali back on the corners from the Newcastle left.
That's how this Tonali will suit Arsenal. That corner kick is just a waste. It was a really good corner kick as well. The ball, like, Arsenal would have scored from there.
It's a blow down for Eddie Howe, whose team had got a strong foothold on the game after the early penalty appeal against them had been rejected to get that breakthrough goal from Sven Botman. Grounds for encouragement. Lewis Potter. It's a foul by Sandro Tonali.
Players know there's plenty in this game for them. Lots of encouragement already. This one a fair distance out.
Swapping over of those two wide players, Lewis Potter and Ouattara, has already paid dividends with the cross that led to Janelt's goal. And they are foremost here amongst the chat as to decide who is best placed to trouble Nick Pope from this kind of range. It is a long range, which Pope hope not to be beaten. It's Jordan Henderson has had his say as well. It's Keane Lewis Potter. Comes back to Janelt, who was the other candidate. Higher climbs, he gets the header on. Pope was looking for the quick release. Barnes. To backtrack. Rice. Here's Botman. Trippier. He's urging his team out. Just going to carry to Lewis Hall. Rice. Goes down by Jordan Henderson. A great double header for you on Super Sunday. That unusual rivalry between Brighton and Crystal Palace kicks us off from 1 o'clock on Sky Sports Premier League. And the gauntlet has been well and truly laid down to Manchester City by Arsenal's win earlier there at Anfield. Super Sunday kick-off 4:30 on Sky Sports Premier League. Granted for Arsenal to their 3-0 win over Sunderland earlier. Here's Sandro Tonali. Cross from him.
Yeah, you'd have expected better there from the Italian, who gifted the ball.
Thiago's done well in the link-up here to get Coyote away.
Oh my days, oh my days.
Oh! He's still got it. Matara pulls it across and an opportunity here.
Handball.
Which isn't taken.
Handball.
But it is a penalty.
Penalty.
Which Jensen appealed for. The appeal was
a
handball against Jacob Murphy. And the referee has given it. And a yellow card as well.
Well, VAR go against the referee's call here. Jacob Murphy.
It's a red.
He's not outstretched. It's down by his side. Is there a movement now by him to block it?
Yes, there's a movement. There is definitely a movement.
A little guilty when he did hit his arm.
There's a movement. He stopped the ball from going into this. He's not tucked in. These commentators, man.
Have to wait for
These commentators are absolutely weird. His arm was out and he stopped the ball from going in. He moved his arm towards the ball to stop it. He did it. Oh man, these commentators, man.
What's going through his mind here? We always talk about unnatural positions.
That was not a natural position. He moved his arm towards the ball and stopped the ball from going in. That would have been a goal. Because Nick Pope was already beaten at this point. Nick Pope was beaten. No way Nick Pope would have got to that ball.
At the start of the season, there was such an onus on the referee's call and not going against it if they could possibly help it.
This is why VAR was created, right? To fix stuff like this. He stopped the ball from going in. Nick Pope was nowhere near that ball.
John Brooks
right?
is the man who has the decision to make. And
that is a red.
Decided that the penalty will count, provided there is nothing else in the build-up to cause the decision to be changed.
It looked like they'd done too much as well here. Brentford maybe played one pass too many.
What?
And the penalty is confirmed. So Newcastle are not going to be let off the hook. And for Brentford, this is the 8th penalty that they've been awarded in the Premier League this season. They thought they should have had one already in this game, but now they do have one. Henderson has been holding on to the ball. Thiago is the usual taker, and he is indeed going to take it. He's already scored one against Newcastle this season. 1 of 5 he has put in from the spot. So he's already beaten Nick Pope on one occasion. So, Igor Thiago, who's already scored from the spot against Newcastle this season, can he do so again? Thiago strokes it in so coolly, and Brentford have turned it around before half-time.
Goal.
Such a confident finish this from Brentford's number 9. A new hero for the fans. and a big goal for his team. There's Brentford fans high up in the stand behind the goal, absolutely loving it.
Here is Keith Andrews, main man. It's his 17th Premier League goal of this season. He looks more relieved than anything else before the celebrations kick in.
Once again, Newcastle are going up and find themselves behind. It's
You look tired.
enviable
You look tired. Are you tired?
Game this season, but still
Okay,
plenty of
that's it.
time to make amends.
He's only missed one Premier League penalty. That was at Brighton in a game where he had already scored from the spot. Big half-time lose for Eddie Howe.
Certainly his team looks less comfortable in its shape than Brentford's. I suppose so much of that comes down to confidence. There's a shortfall within this Newcastle side.
He's boot there for Trippier. There was an audible gasp. That boot was raised by Ouattara because it caught him flush in the face.
4 minutes of added time there.
Newcastle have to come from behind as Trippier launches this one towards Missy. Another lead slips away for Eddie Howe's Newcastle. This stage is the worst start, isn't it, for Eddie Howe?
8 points worse off this time last season going into the match. Forward momentum that they had a year or two back seems to have stalled big time.
Thiago.
Battle out between Thiago and Zhao and Botman. Both the centre halves know that he's there.
Nothing is there. What?
Even with their capture, Newcastle's confidence has taken another blow here. Sven Botman put them ahead in the game with a header from the corner. But another header, this time from Vitaly Janelt, got Brentford level, and then right at the end of the first half, a handball from Jacob Murphy gave Igor Thiago the opportunity to put Brentford ahead of the spot, an opportunity that he took so coolly. And at half-time it is Newcastle 1, Brentford 2.
G-O-A-T, you could be the greatest of all time.
Nice one, mate. You know, some of these people, they come online, they start acting all different. Dean Smith. Newcastle have gone back, mate. They're going backwards. European football is gone. It's gone away from them. It's running away. Newcastle. They're not getting any European football next season. Not even Europa League. I thought they would qualify for Conference League. They're not getting anywhere near European football, Newcastle. Nowhere. You know? They've Newcastle have got some of the biggest flops this season. Elanga, nobody's talking about Elanga. I know he scored last week. But Elanga's been such a flop. Whistle, I know he's only just coming back from an injury. But Tamada had a really good season, but they're not playing to his strength. You know? And now he's on the bench. He scored goals when he first came because they were supplying him with the ball, giving him the ball. But now they stopped doing that. But I don't see them qualifying for the Champions League next season. So which is gonna be a little bit more painful for them because they're not able to spend any more money. They won't be able to spend any money at all. Newcastle, Aston Villa bottle it. They did bottle it. Let's have a look. They're only 3 point. What was now table? Villa, 47 points. Level 1 point with Man City. I hope City win tomorrow, man. That leaves Liverpool. Keep Liverpool away from us. If City win tomorrow, and then we can chase Aston Villa for the 3rd place. I swear that if you're not careful, we might finish 2nd.
After that first half, let's start with Newcastle though, because they managed to take the lead through Sven Botman. It was a good start from them as well.
Yeah, they needed the goal. I think Brentford early possession, they kind of silenced the crowd at St James's Park. So it was so important for Newcastle to get this goal, and they got it through their centre-back, Sven Botman. It's a really basic corner routine. You can see here the way that there's a height mismatch. Rico Henry's marking Sven Botman. Botman just, it's a standing jump. The pressure from Henry doesn't do enough. It's a really clever header the way he just sort of glances into the bottom corner beyond Kelleher, and it got the home side off to the start.
What about this goal then, Les? Good header again.
It's a great header. But do you know what makes the header? It's the Montaro with the cross. I mean, you see very few. That's one of the best crosses I've seen this season. From that angle, coming in and just putting the ball straight in. And then as a forward player, all you need to do is get your head on the end of it. He manages to do that, and it's in the back of the net. Nothing more than Brentford deserve it.
But there was a very big incident that happened in this first half, and that was a penalty being awarded to Brentford. We'll have a closer look at this because this is where the handball was. VR have said that Murphy's arm was away from the body and it then stopped the ball from going into the back of the net. I can see from your face you disagree.
I agree with the part it stops the ball from going in the back of the net, but being away from his body, I'm not quite sure. I'm not sure unless he puts his arms behind his back. I'm not quite sure what else he could do.
I totally agree with you. I think the way that he moves his action, I'm sure we'll probably go into it post-game in more detail, but the action you can see in slow motion here, of as Jacob Murphy moves himself, his body position to try and get in line, he wants the ball to hit his chest, if anything. But the way that he moves, if you just look at his left arm here, it's not in an unnatural position. It's natural because your body's moving to get in front of the ball, and it's unfortunate for him that it's hit his arm, and then the referee's seen that, he's given the decision on the pitch, and VAR's checked it, confirmed the decision. It's very harsh, in my opinion, because of the action of Jacob Murphy and the natural body. Unless you go in like that with your arms behind your back, it's very difficult to move your body to get yourself set to defend the shot.
The only thing I would say is if I was playing and someone did that in front of me, I'd expect a penalty.
Yeah.
But I don't see his arm being away from his body. And if the rules are your arm's not away from your body, then it shouldn't be given as a penalty.
Yeah.
And a good penalty from Miguel Thiago after all that.
Yeah, 17th goal this season. Brilliant dispatched penalty from their leading goal scorer.
Okay, guys, thank you very much. Plenty more to come then in the second half. We definitely can't wait for this one because Newcastle got what it takes to get.
Has Newcastle got what it takes to come back in this game? Who you got, Brentford or Newcastle?
his knee there, and it seems to get away from him. I think that would be the only reason why I can see them not giving this.
Yeah, it's a small tug, and then you can just see here on this angle as it comes in, there's the tug from Trippier, which is deemed as small, but then it's Lewis Potter's second touch, which then takes it away from him, and that's why the decision was given. But if you're Keith Andrews, you're absolutely fuming, aren't you? Because you won that penalty early on, and rightly so.
Yeah, right, so.
All right then, let's hand you over back to your commentary team. Alan Smith is Rob Hawthorne with, I think, some confirmation of changes at the start of the second half.
Yes, Pete, it's a double change from Newcastle. So Nick Baltimore is on, and so too is Anthony Elanga after his first goal for the club in midweek in the Carabao Cup at Manchester City. Baltimore is in desperate need of a goal. He has now gone a dozen games without one, and Newcastle are in desperate need of a win. Brentford have only ever won once at this ground, and that was over 91 years ago.
91 years ago.
On course to make a name for themselves here at St James's Park, turning it around after conceding that goal to Sven Botman in the first half. So Jacob Murphy and Joe Willock are the two players who haven't reappeared. So Voltemada and Wissa are both up front together. They'd only played 17 minutes together before combining here for this second half, and that was a week ago. He hasn't had too much of an opportunity to link up with Wissa, of course, because when he first came here, he was injured for a period of time.
And of course, you have to change your shape to get the two through the middle together. You need something to change with Newcastle to allow the sorts in terms of putting football together. The goal that lifted them. Again, they can see the goal behind.
Throw has already caused enough problems
Long
for
throw.
Newcastle this season from Michael Coyote, who launches this one into the area. Kevin Schade scored the goal from his long throw in the reverse fixture. Schade out through suspension today. Finds Barnes with his free kick. Here's Sandro Tonali.
Why did you take them off? Oh, they're all soaking wet. Right, let's go. Let's play some dry ones.
This has been kept away by Vandenberg. This clips it in. Goes all the way through to Anthony Elanga, who tries to bend one back in. It's cleared though by Maya. The flag was up for offside anyway.
Look.
Options now. It's just central striker on Elanga.
Yeah, you did it. Why did you do it?
Has scored against today's opponents for both of his previous clubs.
No, let's go get some fresh ones. Let's go get some fresh ones.
This match 39 of a season that will see Newcastle play a minimum of 55. They've
Let's
already
go get some
played
clean
9
ones.
more than today's opponents.
Yeah.
One of the best. Straight to Anthony Elanga. So Henry getting his cross away. Coyote beats it. Guimaraes can draw it in, and it's cleared by Lewis Potter.
Took the bit more power to put it across. That wasn't a bad effort from Anthony Elanga. I want to see a bit more of that.
Let's go.
Cross gave Granelt his first goal of the season. Shouldn't forget also that Granelt had an important defensive role to play with his goal line clearance from Johan Wissa in the first half. It's foul on Rico Henry. Chang's header. With Gimarais. Short touch back from Vandenberg. Again out.
I would have expected a reaction from Newcastle for it to come out, be more aggressive, purposeful. They tried to do that.
Both these teams did drop a place in the Premier League following the earlier results. Here's a whistle. Kieran Trippier. Oh, he's looking for a goal there against Rico Henry. They felt that he'd leaned into it. But now the referee has pointed towards a corner.
First time looking, and we're a fair distance away, but I think you're right, he did lean into it, but it's whether it hits the arm or not. From that angle, it looks like it's Rico Henry's chest. Yeah.
Andy Bradley was behind it, would have relied on his assistant had there been anything untoward there. But as is the way, VAR will look at it in fine detail and the on-field decision.
What's going on?
Surprisingly, is confirmed.
Of course, the fans inside the ground can't see these replays, feel hard done by, but they're not.
Least controversial penalty appeal of the day. So another corner yield another Newcastle goal. As Kieran Trippier takes it, it's both 11 really by Kieran Trippier. Here's Lewis Hall. Lewis Potter leading the pressure. So now they try to re-establish it on by Gimarais, made by Vandenberg. And that's abandoned by the Newcastle skipper.
Right there. Nice.
There's Thiago.
Holds it up well.
Gimarais. Here's Hall. So much work to do. Check. Tonali. Spread to Kieran Trippier. To him from Elanga. Bombs!
Difficult. It was a difficult head of that for Barnes. Elanga has made a difference on that right hand side. Far off though from Barnes.
Being read in here by Brentford. Yahor Yarmaluk has featured in every Premier League match so far this season for them. Barnes with the touch here for Gimarais. Drive a way through for Johan Whistle, but particularly for him to get past Christopher Iron. Check. Here's Henry. Langer wins it back. And Tonali emerges with it. Clarissa got a foot to it first though, but now Yanel.
It's getting serious now.
3 options up with him. It's Lewis Potter. Now Guimaraes. It's opening up this game. Wenger just showing too much of it to Rico Henry.
Langa looks like he's lacking confidence. It's not a bad play at all, but it looks like he's lacking confidence.
Brentford, cheers, you can hear because of the player coming out from number 1 coming on. Sure, exactly what a former Sunderland player would have expected. There is some career rivalries happening to Jordan Henderson, considering he was unpopular generally for some of the career choices he made.
Well, yeah, brilliant replacement for Christian Norgard. Done so well since arriving at Brentford. Maybe just an attempt by Keith Andrews to wrestle back a bit of control in the middle of the park, some more legs, a bit more energy.
And look, he's got a message to convey here. Holding a piece of paper in his left hand. He's got time to do that. It's a job team. The search for Ouattara here. Bottom of the field, there was no way through to Lewis Potter. We didn't get a corner.
No.
The receiving end of the message.
Not dirty, that one.
4-4-2, is that? I don't know why the secrecy. I'm sure the Newcastle players could read the hand signals. Here's Ouattara.
No.
Kills one in and
You're fine. It's clean.
He's preventing it from coming back in straight away.
Coyote about. He's going to come back.
Defender Meyer is in there. He's always useful presence to have. So too Thiago. So too Vandenberg. So too Yarmaluk. He's just come on. Quick release. So throwing it into an area that favoured Keane Lewis Potter rather than Bruno Guimaraes, who he was aiming for. It's Walter-Martin. He's struggling for a goal. It is the lack of a finisher that's cost Newcastle late. It's a defender who's got their goal today, Sven Botman. Margin of their defeat, the Etihad in midweek, they still had their chances, which they couldn't take. Tonali scored 3 times against Brentford here last season. So the League Cup, League. Should understandably like to get on with it.
So convinced it should have been a Brentford throw. Here's Alanga. For the first time by Kieran Trippier. In the end was by Yarmouk. Now Tonali. His head of Altamada looking to get a little bit back. The bloke was there. Lewis Hall for Newcastle. Tonali. And Barnes. Malik Chow.
What's up? You hurt your head? Hmm? There's no paper. There's no paper.
Just before they give us. Thomas done well to get it away. Henry is fast on the break.
This guy's fast. Oh my god.
Jensen tightly in the end against Malik Chow. Disappointing.
You thought yourself better. Yeah, the players do as well.
Altamada finds Anthony Alanga. Steps in. Little of him's heading in this direction anyway. Here's Tonali. Looking to crank it up in a match where they were ahead but now find themselves behind. Barnes who curls one in. Fairly comfortable at the moment when Newcastle come at them. There's another attacking option, Asula. Asula came on earlier in the season when they needed to mount a comeback against Liverpool and he scored in that game even though they did ultimately lose it. Here's Altamada. Now Kieran Trippier. Botman. Nice. By Vandenberg and then by Vitaly Janelt. Now since Newcastle has an attempt to attack. Just can't find that sharpness in the final third. 28th minute when they last tested Dean Kelleher directly. Here's Bruno Guimaraes. Tonali.
Oh.
Well, I was the one that they were looking towards there. Every time it's close to a handball, the appeals go on. It certainly wasn't close enough for the midriff. Well, here comes the change as Will Asuma comes on. We segue contingent. Struggled today, really. You can see he's exasperated himself.
About one attempt in the first half.
Bro should have stayed at Brentford.
Blocked on the
But he
line,
pushed
so
for this
will
move and pushed and pushed. Now you
will Sealer have
can't even score.
any more luck in front of goal?
Should have stayed at Brentford, you know.
Seemed on the verge of leaving Newcastle in the last couple of transfer windows. His career at St James's Park goes on. Hull looking to get straight into the action, denied for now by Christopher Hyatt. Ilanga. Here's Tonali. Botman. Tonali working very tight up spaces here, Newcastle. Ball. Gimarais. Staying positive! Forcing the save from Kelleher. Certainly stunned the goalkeeper's fingers with
What
that.
to save?
Didn't it just? Maybe as a Brentford player, you're going, yeah, have a shot, but maybe didn't expect it to be quite that good, and that needed saving.
Well, Newcastle needed an opening from which they worked the goalkeeper. They've just produced it. So what can Gimarais produce from the corner? Flood into the area began, and the header from the player who scored for them in the first half, Sven Botman, is wide.
Just backtracking a little bit, hard to control. Really good stop though, the Brentford keeper. He's going to find some bit in that.
Hello.
Hello?
15th Premier League appearance mark today. Of course, he was the Liverpool
Smell
goalkeeper
nice.
in the League Cup final defeat by Newcastle last season.
Ready for bed? You brush your teeth?
Hey!
So looking for
So that's the golden part of that take it.
Anthony Ilanga.
Daddy, who are you watching play?
Newcastle versus Brentford.
This
Who do you
Brentford side is so well coached.
Oh, Brentford.
Why? I'm not.
Because I don't want Newcastle to catch us.
Yellow card. Yellow. Daddy, what is that?
It's the time. On the scoreboard. 2, Brentford 2, Newcastle 1. See that?
Oh my
Similar to the one up there?
The remainder.
Yeah? Mine is different. It looks like that.
Bradford. Dad,
Brentford.
Yeah, that team was close.
Yeah.
Newcastle.
Yeah.
Some sympathy with
She's
him.
about to vomit.
You need to get your mates in early.
Get out to 10 men here.
Huh?
You need to get a mixing.
Huh? Which level?
Ball into the area. It's cleared by Sepp Vandenberg.
Why did you make
What
it?
did you do?
You made it move.
I saw you touched it.
Hall. Yarmolic. By Botman. Now Barnes. Here's Voltamada.
Voltamada! Whoa! That's too tight. How can you pass that to him? Right, you've done all the hard work.
Hard to pick out a pass there.
I know.
Just showing us he has got really clean feet.
He's got quick feet.
Swing them all the way across to Jensen. Was smothered by Kieran Trippier. Henry.
Harry's mum is calling you.
Yarmolic.
What? What did you say?
I've got 15 minutes.
Yeah, I'll be doing it.
Can't do it right now.
Daddy.
Yeah?
Daddy, when they score, just watch them start, okay?
They've lost their attacking threat. That'll be a worry, I think, for Keith Andrews. They can see this goalkeeper coming back towards his defence. What's happening at the moment? Change for the away team.
Now Tonali. Good Rice. Positive and great for Newcastle in this second half. Slide it into Tonali. Lay off to Elanga. The initial touch to clear it. He's there again. Swapped out to Dango Ouattara. Needs options and has options now. Room for manoeuvre was restricted by Malik Chow there.
Been red hot though. Went there today. It's so difficult to contain it.
Daddy, I bought the new house behind me. This is sick.
Jensen with the kick. By Botman. And the ball really is up for Newcastle. Masula emerging with it. Can he find Jim Rice? No, he's looking the other way. Elanga drives on. Jim Rice has got down and looks in some pain as well. Beating the ground in frustration.
I'm coming.
Well, you might have got me wanting it earlier than that. He's screaming for it in the middle of your screen here. Asula chooses to go with Elanga now. Is that Coyote? The challenge, I don't think that's enough for a penalty. Might be a slight clash of legs there, a little trip.
No, it's not a penalty, bro. It's not a pen.
as far as the referee's concerned, is in vain, but it's been checked by VAR, and the news is that an on-field review is recommended.
That is no pen.
Wandering over to review a scenario in which Gibberice had got in front of the defender. But Trippier is hoping to take a sneaky look here.
Well, you'd imagine he'll give a penalty. I think it's
That is no penalty,
an
man.
unintentional tangling the legs. A little trip on Gibberice.
Yeah, he's a pen. Yeah, he kicked his leg. It's a penalty. There.
VAR saying he's going to point to the penalty spot here, the ref.
It's a penalty.
The other question is whether there'll be a card and what colour the card will be if the penalty is given. Still don't think there's going to be a send-off here of Coyote, but it looks like the penalty's going to be awarded. We're about to find out.
After review, there is a careless trick by the blue 33. Final decision, penalty kick.
Well, a bit late for Coyote to plead his case, but the decision is at least he will remain on the pitch.
Yeah, I mean, there's a definite trip in there.
Mummy said he has to wait for
I think it probably stopped Gibberice from getting his toe on the ball, perhaps scoring.
Mummy put in Ori to bed,
Okay.
and you put in me to bed.
Okay, we'll take a seat.
Has resaved penalties this season from Bruno Fernandes, Jorgen Strand-Larsen and Enzo Lefebvre. An outstanding record. If he makes it 4, he will equal the record for the Premier League goalkeeper within a season. And Bruno Gibberice is going to try and draw Newcastle United level against a goalkeeper who has made a habit of saving attempts from the spot. So a war of nerves here as the Newcastle captain steps up. Gibberice carrying the hopes of these Newcastle fans. Gibberice!
Newcastle scored.
2-2. So I changed it there. 2-2.
How did he come in there?
That's going to be a fascinating last 15, 20 minutes, maybe now. Is there going to be a winner in this game? Just like Thiago, dispatched with confidence.
2-2.
The goalkeeper went the wrong way. That's a foul. That's foul.
To argue about that, even though it's accidental, it stops the midfielder, I think, from perhaps scoring them.
Somewhere to mark his return. Bruno Gibberice and
Did you delete the goal?
the position of the ball can save
It's not, why is it not showing on the wall? But why is it not? Why is it not showing on both doors? Why all these doors are doing it? But why is not that?
Takes time.
change to 4-5-1 Brentford, and that maybe just put them in a defensive
They
mindset.
which stadium is it?
Take a step or two
Which
back, and
stadium
even
is
though
it?
Newcastle.
Newcastle Stadium. St James's Park.
Thiago, neat touch from him. Jensen trying to slide one through, but Watara and Trippier more bothered about calling for the offside flag, which is forthcoming. Stick or twist that for Keith Andrews.
Daddy, how much time have you got now?
For about 10 minutes.
How much light?
Oh, not many.
Switching the two blind men around
Just
Watara
two.
and Lewis Potter.
Pretty light.
Three.
Starting on the right, Watara's on the left. Here goes Nick Potter.
Oh,
Potter might be trying to bully her way through here. Should have been had to hit it earlier.
Potter pass it.
it took too long.
Ended up running into trouble.
Could have
Now
scored.
really is on a knife edge. There's Bottom. Now Lewis Hall. Only pulled off Harvey Barnes here. Barnes to take the retrieve and just catches the ball back. It's back for a free kick. To keep this as systems go. So from Barnes' perspective, it's just stalls up and allows Kelleher to run a fair few seconds
That's
away.
the coach. Newcastle.
It's coming easy for Newcastle at the moment. This match or any other.
That's big. That
Yeah,
is
it's a very big stadium.
a goal. Yes, it is.
I've been there.
Yannett.
I've been to this
Now
stadium.
Donovan.
Yes, it is.
I need to look at the video for you.
I don't see the outside.
Sula.
They don't see the outside of the stadium. On the ball.
Looks like about to make an impact, having been sent on by Keith Andrews. Lewis has been stuck down to Yarmuluk, and here's Thiago with two moving up to his left. It's Jensen. Watara pulls it across. Donovan was in there, but Tonelli got up ahead of him. That's the feeling of the game on the knife edge.
Newcastle still a victory.
They need a victory to go level on points with Brentford and take them ahead of them because of their goal difference. They needed a victory, a 3-goal margin to secure that. Van der Berg. Seeking out.
Oh, lucky.
No success.
Unlucky with that pass.
Early involved in the penalty incident. What about this one?
Yeah, Clary was appealing that Elanga found Rico Henry. And the build up to that, there's not much in it at all. Just a slight shove. Leads to the penalty. Salt in the wounds that Coyote's the one that gives it away.
Opening here for Ouattara to strike, and he's got it through the post and put Brentford back in
That's
front.
a big shot. Power shot. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Ouattara
I'm missing.
enjoying the
No,
time of his life
big
at
shot. He
Brentford at the moment.
put his
And a
foot through
game
that
that
ball.
seemed to be drifting away from them is back in their own hands.
Ouattara has been absolutely magnificent out there, unplayable at times. Absolutely brilliant. Just when we're thinking maybe Newcastle can snatch it,
Yeah,
looks like the away team now.
Daddy, want me
Have a
to
great opportunity. Lovely ball by Jensen. That.
United.
And it's all about the power. Does that just slip
And
through
Power.
both
Look at the
legs?
power. Bang! And he slept from his
What a
left foot.
strike.
He let the ball
What
bounce
a
a
game
little
he's
bit,
had.
and then he hit it. Look at
And is
that.
this going to be the winner?
Bounce. Bang!
If anybody
Daddy.
deserves to be
Between
the
his
match
legs.
winner,
You got megged.
it's Brentford's number 19.
Daddy, when Daddy, remember when I done that? When I let it stop.
Well, goal number 5 of the season for Dango Ouattara. The previous 4 have all come in Premier League wins, and if this is another, it will be the first here for Brentford in more than 90 years. They're taking off Matthias Jensen and bringing on Mikkel Damsgaard, who is a creative influence when he puts his mind to it.
Yeah, Jensen's had a really good game. That's a slightly advanced position. Swapping one classy competitor for another here. Brentford.
Double change from Newcastle. Kieran Trippier coming off. Dan Burn will see out the remainder. And Tonali is the other one withdrawn. Jacob Ramsey still really looking to establish himself here. Comes on in a difficult
All their
situation.
signings have flopped.
Newcastle
All the
once more
signings they've made.
up
Jacob
against
Ramsey, he should have just stayed at Aston Villa. Why did he come to this?
Well, remember, it was 3-3 between these two in Eddie Howe's first game in charge, even though he had to manage remotely because he had COVID at the time. Probably take a 3-3 now.
I think so.
Here's Ramsey. Now Botman.
Dad.
Barnes curls one in towards Waltamada, but I was up first. For Janant to distribute, and Igor Thiago is up there to move onto the shoulder of Man Chow. Here's Byrne.
Dad, can I hear it on the headphones?
Barnes against Coyote, who he shoves away, having released the ball.
I hear it.
On the header, here's Voltamano. Dan Byrne. Barnes. Langer. Hall team one up. It's Lewis Hall, strikes his own man as soon as in the way. And Thiago. Do they go for another Brentford, or does he take it to the corner? Donovan.
Might be a bit early for that. There's going to be a fair bit of added time, I think.
Donovan showing ambition. Minute plus stoppage time left. In a game that Newcastle led, then came from behind to level, but now find themselves behind again with Brentford still pushing and winning a free kick. Kim Rice with a foul on Coyote.
Never stops running, Michael Coyote. Such great stamina.
I don't think.
Some danger on his just come on. Discussions.
Give me 5 minutes.
Timing out.
How much minutes are left on clock?
5 minutes maybe.
9 added minutes as the kick is swept in. He goes right the way through it, causing any problem for Newcastle. So they've still got time on their side here.
There's a few Newcastle fans heading for the exits, but might be another twist.
The shirt of Ramsey to keep him back. Launched by Pope, built on by Botman. Launching one of his own shirts, they thought so too. Botman. Campbell here now, Newcastle. Keeping their defenders forward. There's Kim Rice. Hall has stayed back of their regular defence. Now Ramsey. Here's Byrne.
They look some like this.
They're giving an option to Paul out wide.
Their team song, I don't know what it is.
This one goes on. Full by Donovan, and a quick free kick to Elango, who plays it across. From close range, Alec Chow could do nothing with it.
Yeah, he makes a bit of a mess of it here, the defender. Good play by Lewis Hall, quick thinking. Elango's on the same wavelength as well. That's what you want. A centre forward adjusting his body and his foot to steer that one goalwards.
Nervy end for Eddie Howe. It's being a depressing week for those Newcastle fans. They defeated Liverpool.
Then he did L&W.
Carabao Cup.
Hold on. That's the L in the W. Should we do the W for
to enjoy their last
So
3
3
games
minutes here, win. How many games you've won? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. L means how many games they've lost. 1 game here, they've lost 1 game.
2 games then?
And how many games here? Some people have lost 2 games.
Who has lost 2 games?
Aston Villa.
And who else?
Brentford.
Who else? Bradford's not losing.
Not today, but 3 other days they lost these other games.
And then who else?
Not so many. Arsenal have only lost once to United. Man City has lost once to United.
I was Arsenal first.
Because they've won more games.
Maybe United won more.
They've won 17 games. See that? United have only won 12 games. City have won 14 games.
Chelsea has won 15.
Chelsea won 12.
No, there's 15 left.
No, that's 1, 2, 12. So they won 12 games.
There's 5 on
2 and 5. They've played 25 games.
And 7 and 6. And 4 and 5. 9 and 2.
The back of that brilliant win at Villa.
Wolves is all the way up.
Continues
1.
the Keith Andrews success story.
They won 1 game of it.
How do you know that's Wolves?
Because it's Spurs.
He thought of playing safe. He's lining up to launch another long one into the area. Michael Coyote.
Oh.
Aaron Vandenberg amongst his targets. This is cleared by Baltimore and Wilson. Pulling in there that he felt his rights to penalise. What a remarkable start to his managerial career for Keith Andrews. Only appointed in June.
Wolverhampton.
Yeah, and what?
Who's had coaching roles with Ireland, with Sheffield United, and with Brentford before taking the big step up into the #1 job. He's taken to it so far. Well, real frustration here for Lewis Hall, which is showing all too visibly. I think it was that as much as the offence that's seen his name taken.
Yellow.
Yeah, just a reflection, I think, of the frustration that Newcastle are feeling, embodied in Lewis Hall.
Yet another Brentford free kick. It's just teasing goodness who complains. Now he does drift it in. Flag up for an offside. Clarity, Michael, was that a clue?
That fella there, yeah, Watara. His best game, I think, probably for Brentford. Beautiful assist for that score, that cross from the left. And, well, they got the winner as well.
Oh, here they come again.
Over whether Thiago was offside as this move was building up for Brentford. Here's Yarmulke. Botman saving the corner and winning the throw. Is he got Thiago? Damsgaard kept from danger by Botman and by Asula, but he's found Vitaly Janelt. Now Guimaraes gets it away. But opportunities to break into the Brentford half have been few and far between in stoppage time.
It is such a well-coached team inside. Proud of this performance.
He's an admirer of his opposition number anyhow, but it's a difficult period for the Newcastle boss this.
And you can hear you.
Here's Donovan.
Wow.
Well, Donovan pulling it back. Thiago lets it run, but no Brentford presence there. The only Newcastle presence in attack is Asula. Even if he got that, he would have had much more to do.
What was that pass?
I know, right?
Higher.
It was a dead pass, but he survived. We got away with it.
But we have those in the one United.
Running up for Newcastle and Donovan relieving any pressure Brentford might have been under. Here's Mikel Damsgaard. Finish Newcastle off once and for all here. It's Ouattara again. This time he lifts it over.
Feels Nick Pope's got a touch on this. He really would have sealed it.
Another outstanding
That's
away
it,
day
game over.
for Brentford.
Brentford won this one.
Fourth Premier League win on the
They've
road
not won a game
in
here
5
in
matches
99 years.
away
This would have been the
from home.
100th year.
And
You know, these guys.
earning
Daddy, why is that still
their first
going?
win at this
I've
ground
stopped it
in
now.
more than 90 years. It's only their second
So how much
win
time
here
is it
ever.
been?
And their
99
second
minutes.
league double
99.
over Newcastle, who are absolutely devastated. Guimaraes thought he
Alright,
might
guys,
have
thank
earned
you for watching.
Newcastle at least a
Newcastle lost
point
this one.
with a goal from the
Good
penalty
for
spot
us. Well
on
done.
his return
Daddy.
to
Big
the
win
team.
for United today.
But Thiago
Thank you all
had
for
struck
watching.
for
You
Brentford
take care.
with a
Goodbye.
penalty.
Take care from
Vitali Janelt had struck for them with a header.
Peace.
And after a good start for Newcastle, when Sven Botman
Barca won
scored
as
from
well.
a corner, it
Basta
all
Roma.
went
Yeah,
wrong.
they won.
They
3-0.
are shaking their heads
United won.
at the end of
3-0
a
too.
desperate week, which has
2-0.
seen them lose emphatically at Anfield,
Fulham
seen them
lost
go out of the
2.
Carabao Cup, and now seen them lose another match at home. As it finishes here, Newcastle 2, Brentford 3.
Boos around St James's Park at full time, but there certainly will be celebrations though for Brentford because it's a huge win for Keith Andrews' side. It's the most points ever for Brentford after
Most points
25
ever.
Premier
They've
League
not won
games,
here
and this
for
is just their
99 years.
second ever win at Newcastle.
You know?
Izzy, we spoke about it at the start of the show about Brentford dreaming of European places. And this is proving exactly why they can have that dream.
Yeah,
Keith
absolutely.
Andrews,
I mean,
well
I
done
think
to you, mate.
the belief in
Well
this
done to
side,
you.
it's there. It's clear for everyone to see that
It's great.
Brentford go to big stadiums, to big sides like Newcastle, and they believe they can win. And that's exactly what they've done tonight. They deserve that. I thought from minute 1 to minute 99, I thought those Brentford players, the thing that stood out to me the most was the work, the hard work that they put in. And if you listen to any interview that Keith
The away
Andrews has done
fans, they
this
put
season,
them
I
right at the
guarantee
top.
he's alluded
So
to
horrible
hard
that
work
stadium.
at some point during that interview.
Why is that so
And that
horrible?
team got
Because
their
they're pretty
absolute
far
socks off
away
with.
where
And you can see
your
they're
team
getting their
cannot see
rewards. They're in
you
a good place,
or
and they've
can't
just
hear
beaten
you.
a Champions League team in
And
Newcastle
you're right at the
United,
top.
who've got some
Are there
top
people
tier
at the
players in their
bottom?
side.
Yeah.
And it's a massive win for
So
the
they
manager.
can.
You can see how happy the Brentford players are, rightly so. It was a brilliant game of football.
Daddy, look
The
up.
game, wasn't it?
You missed the
Brentford deserved to win
tattoo.
this.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I think as he said from
Someone
the start,
told
they just looked relaxed, they looked composed, they didn't allow Newcastle to get into any stride. They looked very, very comfortable out there. Newcastle huffed and puffed, but I thought defensively Brentford were fantastic, and credit to Keith and his coaching staff, because I think they set out to stifle Newcastle. They did it and got the result in the end of it, because they didn't just defend, they went out and attacked as well and got the goals.
What about Newcastle then? Because you heard the reaction from the fans at full time. Clearly not happy. They were desperate for a result here. They thought they might have got away with a point, but then of course Brentford getting that winner.
Yeah, and when they got the second goal, when they got the penalty and got the second goal, I felt if there was a side that was going to go on to win it, kind of looked like Newcastle. They were in the ascendancy. Eddie made some positive from changes at half time, and then during the game, Asula came on and caused the threat.